Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey there. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker at Maximum One. This is
My
my lovely
name,
wife and
thank
partner,
you. My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One Realty and Realtor Partners.
and we really appreciate you joining us today on another fun-filled edition of the Real Estate Backstory. We're doing this every Monday at 9 a.m., where we kind of hopefully can get you started off on your week, what's going on in our industry, tips, tricks, that kind of stuff, just kind of general everything going on in the real estate world kind of thing. So we're going to jump right in. And, well, here we go. So we have, if you need some continuing education, my goodness, we have blown it up this week. So
Yes.
there's a ton of CE if you are in the need. And so, at 10 o'clock today, we have our health insurance webinar going on, but also then tomorrow we have familiar with USDA guaranteed loans, as well as an introduction to to transaction desk. On Wednesday, we have GAR contract dissections. And then if you are
A
a
Chime
Chime
user.
user, yeah, then we have best practices for Chime. And I really suggest that you have that get the most out of that CRM. Thursday, there's 4 CE classes, all starting at 10, which is interesting. But we have GAR contract dissection. We have DS Murphy's teaching an appraiser's guide to CMAs. We have George MLS teaching CMAs as well through CMA and Paragon. And then we have our own lovely Dana teaching while your clients with customer service, which is another really great class. Also, we have accountabilities on Tuesdays, and Tech Thursday is also coming up this week. So today at 10 o'clock, we have our first healthcare webinar is starting. This is something that's really important to Ming and I. We really wanted to be able to offer health insurance to our agents, and we felt that was one of the biggest challenges for us when we first started to get into real estate was how are we going to protect our families and ourselves. And so please feel free to join us. That's the link, eventwebinarjam.com/channel/max1. You can also find it in the newsletters. It'll be on Workplace, the whole 9 yards. But please join us at 10 if you have more questions. The president of the company, I believe, is going to be, of Clearwater, is going to be there joining in. You can also go to myagenthealth.com to look up more details about the different programs. So we have a webinar coming up this Monday, and then we also have another webinar coming up next Monday as well. All right, Tom Ferry Success Summit is coming up next month. We are in the process of trying to figure out how to put it together. Every year for like the last 4 or 5 years, we have hosted the Tom Ferry Success Summit live. We want to do that again, but we want to be very respectful of everyone's health concerns. And so we want to do that. And so we may end up doing it over multiple sessions, over multiple weeks, and go with smaller classes. We can't go with one big group like we've done in the past. So, each of our branch managers are going to be running their own show kind of thing. And then we're going to be building smaller classes where we do the Success Summit over multiple weeks, and that is going to be coming. I do encourage you, if you haven't joined us on some of the past ones, they are phenomenal. It is a really great learning experience. In addition, this year, we're going to have an additional 50 breakout sessions. Each one's about a year.
Yeah, an hour.
An hour. It's slightly different than a year. But each one's about an hour long. We're going to be doing one of those a week in each of our offices to try and share those out as well, kind of thing, because we think that'd be a really good stuff. The hard part's figuring out which ones do you start first, kind of thing. So all that is going to be coming next month, and like again, as I said, it's going to be a little bit wonky, but we're going to really try and work hard to make sure that it all works out, kind of thing. Excuse me. All right, so let's kind of jump into some of the real estate news here. So first of all, our July numbers look really, really strong. Pending listings for the 4 weeks ending August 1st were 4.2% over last year, kind of thing, which is a really great news. Also closed listings are up about 4%, and we have about 30% less withdrawn listings than we had compared to the same period in 2019. So things are going really, really strong this year as well. We came out of June roared through July, and honestly, August is looking really, really strong. I mean, extremely strong. The strongest one that I think that we will have ever seen.
Well, as we predicted prior to the COVID pandemic, we mentioned at one point the fall is going to be our new summer. And that is true because the numbers are showing that.
Yeah. On the positive side of that, we kind of named our show today The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And we did that because, we have such conflicting news and information and messages right now, because on one hand, our economy is not doing great. Okay. It's really, it's in bad shape. On the other hand, our real estate economy
is great,
pretty good. Like, things are really roaring. And so we are in that weird situation of things are good, things are bad, things are ugly. But, we're here not to tell you, what it all means, but just kind of present all the information to you. So we are seeing rising home prices, but on the positive side, home affordability is the best level in 4 years. Yes, home prices are going up, but with where the interest rates are, home affordability is under 20% of the median income for the average home buyer. That is a phenomenal place to be. I also threw down here, if you're a renter in the U.S., your average rent accounts for right at 29.1, almost 30% of your income goes towards your rent. But if you buy, only 20% of your income goes towards your rent. Or towards your mortgage. So you want to put 10% of your paycheck in your pocket, buy a house. Okay. That's really what it means right there. Right. And so it is much better by about 10% more to own as opposed to rent. And you're building equity at the same time. We should be shouting about this. This is a really big deal for us. Our broken record is back. New record low for 30-year mortgage rates.
2.88.
I mean, pretty soon they're going to be paying us to borrow money. I mean, it really is pretty amazing right now. So it's the lowest level in the survey's 49-year history. It's the 8th time we've hit a record low this year. I keep saying, man, there's no way it's going to get any lower. And I've been wrong, I think, 7 times this year. So, we're going to see where this thing keeps going. But this is part of the reason, the low interest rates is really helping to fuel the housing market right now. It truly, truly is. And so I'm very thankful for that. Mortgage applications are 22% higher than a year ago. We just mentioned that August is looking really strong, and we can see that but this means more than August. Mortgage applications, these are people who are applying for mortgages now. They're not going to buy for 30, 60, 90 days. So we're looking at a much stronger fall all the way through here right now. Now, they are down about 3% from last week, but normally this time of year, we see mortgage applications and pending transactions really falling off, and we're not really seeing that right now. So this is a really big deal, and it kind of shows what's going on in our market right now. At the same time, we're starting to see some of our lenders ease up just a touch. The mortgage availability index, and what this basically is just shows that how much available credit and how much is out there for the borrowing public to have. And so it has been really, really high, for the past several years. And then of course, when COVID hit, we had this big dip, but now we're starting to trend back up. So, right now we are starting a more positive trend. It still is very available, but it's mostly available if you've got your credit straight. We're still, can you find decent rates at the 600s? You can. 580, you're really starting to push it, kind of thing. I mean,
well, I don't know if anybody's doing 580.
There's not, but I mean, there are a few 580s, but they're dinging you on the credit.
And
on your credit
on your interest rate. So if you think that the processing for your regular good credit home buyer is long right now, with the one with 580 is even longer. So if you are going to write contract for folks with lower credit score, please ask the lender what the time frame is, because you might find yourself out of time. Yeah.
We are seeing a few more loan products that are opening back up and the rates are coming down. Jumbos are back now. We're starting to see a few more jumbos. back into the marketplace, that kind of thing. So things are trending much better there. Another part that's good is mortgages and forbearance have continued to drop, okay? And so we're going on, I think it's 8 weeks straight where we've had a continual drop. We were closer to around 9% of all the mortgages we're in forbearance. We're down to about 7.6. So it's it's continuing to move its way down. On the other side of things, or the other positive point with this is that, of the, I think it's roughly 70% of the mortgages in forbearance, they have a ton of equity in those homes should they need to sell them, kind of thing. Now, one of the ugly things right now is our appraisers are behind. We're seeing this on our, it's affecting our contracts because, the appraisers are having a hard time getting to all the bit because things are going, because boy, I am struggling today.
That's some caffeine.
Yeah, I do. I need more coffee. But it's affecting a lot of different issues because the appraisers are not just doing normal purchases and sales. The refi market with the interest rates where they've been has been blowing up as well. At the same time, they can't go inside. There are some loan products that allow the appraisers to go inside, but so many, the appraisers are still having to do desktop valuations. And while you might think that sounds easier, the amount of desktop work that they have to do on that has actually slowed them down a good bit. So we are seeing some challenges in the appraisers as well as in appraisal values. Part of the issue there is that last month we saw home prices increase by about 8%, which is a huge jump, and that's more than most of the appraisers want to value for an increasing market right there. So we've seen some appraisal issues there as well.
And I will tell you, some appraisers still not in line with the demand in the market right now. Like last night, I searched property between 180 to 250 in Henry County, move-in ready product. There was hardly any. So even though like for example, a subdivision that has not have too much turnover, and now you got one in inventory, well, everybody's jumping on it and making offer more than what the asking price traditionally, what the subdivision has sold for. But unfortunately, some appraisers are just not on board, and they don't know what the appraised value for that property is. And we have gotten some really bad appraisals back. And listing agents, just because you have really good offer, make sure that offer is strong enough to carry if the deficiency in appraisal value, that the buyer can make up some of it.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Realtor.com is replacing their lead gen products in 60 markets with OpCity. Realtor.com owns OpCity, and OpCity has, up to now, whereas Zillow switched over completely to their Flex program, OpCity has been doing this slow transition over into OpCity. Well, they made a big jump now, and they hit it in 60 markets.
Right.
If you are currently using a Realtor.com lead gen product and you like it, do not opt out of it or end it, because once you end it, it's probably not coming back. So just to know that that's going on out there. Showings are up 6.6, 6.8, and 6% over last year, kind of thing. Both our weekly average and our running averages are running really, really strong over last year. Normally we see a taper off again. We are seeing a slight dip, but boy, nothing compared to what we've seen in prior years. We really are, and according to NAR, August is poised to be our 2020 home buying peak. That's when they feel that 2020 is really going to peak. This is all the talking heads and the big brains at NAR, and they feel that August is really kind of going to be the epicenter for where it really peaks out this year. I'm not sure. I think that we may see that as the overall peak,
right,
just on terms of volume, but it doesn't mean that the rest of the year is going to drop off. I see us really finishing out through the rest of this year much stronger compared to prior year. And it's not because of the economy, it's because of supply versus demand. We have way more demand than we have supply to meet it right now. So who is our typical home buyer right now? Our typical home buyer, well, she is a millennial woman who wants more space. Those are that is two of your big search topics right there.
Mm-hmm.
So female millennials, and they're looking for bigger spaces. That is what's coming out. A new report from Point Two found those are the big searches. That's who's searching and what they're searching for. Excuse me. Condos took kind of a big hit with COVID when COVID came out.
Right.
But condo prices are still down comparatively, but demand is ticking up. Sales in condos are down about 30%. Prices are down around 1 to 2%. Demand is starting to tick back up as people start
getting back to the routine with school and everything else. And at some point, the infection rate is high.
Mm-hmm.
And the testing is high as well, the percentage.
Right.
So it is a correlation. And
but one thing that I think everyone's kind of got to get ready for is that this is our normal. This is not the like I know there are a lot of folks like I can't wait for it to go back to the way it was. It's not going back. I mean, yes, things will slowly transition, but if you're waiting for the good old days, you're going to be waiting for a long time. It's time to
if you look at businesses, how they have conduct their business, especially restaurants. There are restaurants where you go, they only allow you to do pickup. Not only that, they shut their door and create this little barricade when they give you food. So, it is.
They had to survive.
Correct. Right. In order to conduct business. So, the industry, our business and our world's changing, and we got to move with the time as well.
Exactly. And our home prices increased 4.9% in June, even higher than May's increase. And it's on, we're continuing to see that. If you're not out doing business, it's because you haven't decided that you're going to, and you haven't figured out how you're going to engage the marketplace. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. The housing shortage has really impacted our foreign investors as well. Foreign investment right now is down significantly as well. So inventory is so tight across the board. But that tight inventory has made a lot of our owners property equity rich.
Absolutely.
We are seeing that about 30% of our properties in the second quarter are equity rich, up from 26.5 in the first quarter. So yes, we are seeing prices rise. That's why this is such a great time to be a seller and a buyer. But one issue that we're having bidding wars, and it's one of those things that when you have a client and you're in bidding wars, and if you lose 2 or 3 of those, your clients lose confidence in you. They start to worry that you can get the job done. It affects them. It affects you. So we really want to go over a few things on how do you win these bidding wars, because it's really, really important that you that you be able to win these bidding wars, but it doesn't happen by accident. So first of all, we're just kind of going to run over the list of things of how we do it and how we think you really need to step up your game. First thing is communicate with your clients right up front. You got to let them know that, used to be, we'll put in a $10,000 to $15,000 less under asking price. You're not going to get it. All right.
You're not going to get it.
You need to have these really difficult discussions. A lot of agents are like, well, we can always do a little bit better. You have to lose that mentality. Okay. Because if you do, your clients are not going to get the houses right now. You just cannot be super aggressive on price and trying to, especially if you're in a value price point, if you're under 250, there's just, you are shooting your clients in the foot if you let them believe it, and if you don't communicate that.
Not only that, right now there's a lot of blind offer going out because once a product hits the market, you got 5-6 times the demand for that particular price. And so a lot of clients, because they have been turned down 8-9 times, they're getting discouraged. So what they're asking their agent to do is do blind offers at this point because they want to get their foot in the door. So, you guys need to know your market industry and the location that you're dealing with and the value point for those locations, what's available, what's not available. And also make sure that you just talk to your client and let them know what the expectations are. Now, there are going to be clients that won't listen to you. We all know that, okay? And that's okay. Just do, at the end of the day, it is their money. You do what they ask. And after about 2 or 3 times of rejection, they'll figure out, hey, they know what they're talking about at this point.
Well, you have to be very careful of that 2 to 3 times of rejection, because if you let them lose three deals, they're thinking that you're not the agent for them. And so you might be trying to save them money, trying to help them find a bargain. And at the end of the day, you're going to lose them as a client, kind of thing. Use the numbers, but remember, it's your client's decision. Use your comps, show them what the trends are, show them what's going on, kind of thing. Make sure that your buyers are fully approved with a really good lender. Please use an in-person lender. We like using lenders that we can look in the eye and be like, don't you mess up that loan, I'll pinch off your little head. And so I like having that kind of thing. Well, I'm a nice guy, but one of the things that we love to do, you're in a multiple offer scenario and you submit your offers, have your lender call the listing agent. Because as a
not only that, but the letter from the buyer.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll go over that, but I'm just going down the list. But yeah, but
I'm just saying.
Well, I agree with that one too, but I love having my lender call the listing agent. As a listing agent, I might get 7, 8, 10 offers on a property, but when I get a lender that calls and says, hey, I know that you got your offer submitted, want to make sure that you got the pre-approval, this borrower is ready to go. They are set up, ready to rock. If you need anything, please reach out to me. As a listing agent, that's a good client. I mean, that's a strong offer for me, because I don't even have to call this lender, kind of thing. So that's a really good thing to be prepared for, or to try and take advantage of.
Well, honestly, this makes the seller feel like you have a team that backs up your client's ability to purchase.
Yeah.
So when you have a lender call the listing agent, more likely you're going to be impressionable in that listing agent's mind.
Yep. Look for opportunities to go shorter if you can. But just be careful on there. You can, but it's like shorter due diligence. Can we do a 5-day due diligence period? If you've got your ducks in a row, you can.
You get a home inspector
but if you're going to drag your feet, and if your clients are going to drag your feet, you can't. But it's kind of one of those things where, what can you do to help your offers stand out more? Financing contingency. Speak with those lenders. Find out what's the shortest financing contingency that they can really do. That's a big deal right now.
Most your lenders are asking minimum 25 days right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Next up is cleaner contracts. Do not ask for the moon. As a listing agent, I get in these 3 offers, and this one in the offer asked for 20 different items.
And there was another one that asked for due diligence does not start until we get the HOA, seller disclosure, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
That's not going to fly.
So you want to make the contracts as clean as you can. Now, we love buyer letters is another thing that we really like. We like having the buyer just write a sweet little love letter to the sellers about why they like the house, how beautiful it was, that kind of stuff. Because a lot of your sellers, they really care about the home that they're moving from. They've lived next to Bob and Betty for 12 years. They don't want some jerk to move in, kind of thing. So buyer letters can work very, very nicely for you, kind of thing.
And last but not least, the escalation clause. I actually posted that last week in reference to it, what escalation clause means and how it can help you, and also the pros and cons. The pros on escalation clause is that you can actually move your buyer's purchase price up by X amount of dollar above a bona fide offer, okay? But the problem is that you got at some point stop, because at some point your buyer's going to get very uncomfortable as the price goes up. So I actually put that in the water cooler chat last week, and I'll put it up again today with Real Estate Backstory, so you'll have access to it. So one of the clause, the phrases is buyer offer to pay let's say $200,000 for the home, but if the seller receives a bona fide offer that is higher, buyer will increase the price by $1,000 above the amount the other offer. Okay, so you can do that definitely, and of course it will be considered counter offer when the other agent present to you that offer. At that point, your client has the option to accept or reject. Okay, but
Yep.
it puts you on top of the list.
Exactly. So, the other thing that we don't have on this list is earnest money. We believe in larger earnest money amounts, but please don't go with larger earnest monies if you're not good at keeping up with dates, because you're going to cost your clients money. Now, Ming, for example, is amazing on her dates. She knows when everything is, and you've got to make sure that you've got your time frames down pat. But if I get 5 offers in and they all have $1,000 or $2,000 earnest money, and I get one offer in and it has $6,000 earnest money, that's a more serious buyer to me. Most times that buyer was going to have to come up with that money anyway, but just the fact that it's out there didn't really cost the client anything. It just makes them look like a much stronger buyer.
Absolutely.
So be ready to look outside the box, to do things differently than you've done in the past. Otherwise, your clients are going to lose their belief in you, kind of thing. Moving into some of the ugly that we talked about today. Initial job, well, this is not necessarily ugly, okay? So, because initial jobless claims fell more than expected, which is good. We did see a slight improvement in unemployment last week, which is not really bad, kind of thing. And it actually came in under what everyone was really expecting it to be, which is not that great. But the challenge is, at the same time, is that we had about that $600 federal aid stopped last week. And who that is really, really impacting is renters. Renters is one of those that is probably the most susceptible. What we found is that, for a lot of folks, if you could afford to buy a home before the coronavirus hit, you could probably afford to buy one after. It's the folks who were on the margins, quote unquote, blue collar, that have been hit the hardest by COVID in this times. And while I know that residential real estate is highly tied to supply versus demand, that is for sure a real issue, or what's driving our market. Right. But at some point, that changes over. And so we are worried that a surge in evictions, in rental evictions, could have ripple effects all the way through the housing economy basically right now. So that is a big concern. It's very easy to say, well, renters aren't going to affect me. It really does have the opportunity to truly end up disrupting us later on in the year. So I am very concerned about what's going on with the evictions, having some eviction moratoriums, and having some stopgaps in place for there. I know there was some stuff that came out this week where, Trump put out this executive order stopping evictions, or whether they stopped them or not, that kind of stuff. But I know that there are folks, in the government looking for it. I firmly believe that's something that needs to happen, because otherwise I'm afraid that that's going to have like a ripple effect. It impacts our landlords, and it starts moving all the way into housing, which makes it a really, really big deal. So I'm not getting political. That's not what this is all about. But the thing is that you got to understand that, the folks who are hit hardest by COVID are the folks who can't buy houses already. But that can ripple its way into housing and truly affect us in long term. If you have clients that are in the Clayton County area, that's one of our territories kind of thing. Clayton County has an urgency grant program. And so this is something that they reached out to us, and we just want to share it with you guys. And so they have a grant program that is for gas leaks, electrical hazards, ADA handicap, sewer systems, HVAC, water heaters, and they'll pay to replace or improve or fix it up to $7,000 per homeowner. They have to own the home. They have to live there for 12 months, and they have to live And it is for the lower income folks, roughly about 50% of what the average service, anyone who makes around under $30,000, generally speaking, is going to qualify for this housing grant. So if you have clients that might be in that need, please,
reach out.
We're a source for folks who maybe aren't clients now, maybe will be clients, that kind of stuff. And so if you come across folks that are in need, understand that this program is out there. All right, on to the ugly. 1/3 of U.S. restaurants face permanent closure this year. This is one of those issues that I can't really control, but we need to know that that's kind of going on too, or that's one of the things that we are kind of worried about. Here in Georgia, tax revenue is down 16% with last year. Yeah, that's kind of a picture from the Red Wedding of Game of Thrones. And there were several lawmakers that kind of said that going into the budget discussions this year was like attending the Red Wedding. Everything got slashed. That is, in Georgia actually is a little bit better than a lot of the states. That's all 50 states right there. Overall, the U.S. is down about 30%. So in Georgia at 16, we're not as bad as a lot. Still, it's pretty ugly. How ugly? K-12 education took a $950 million cut. Higher education, a $242 million cut. Behavioral health, $156 million. Public health, $10 million. Human services, $86 million. Department of Corrections, $110 million. The only thing that took an increase was community health, which is because of the crisis that we're in. And again, I'm not getting into anything political. This is not Republican, Democrat.
This is a reflection what the budget is doing, what the economy is doing. So
see, like I understand that it's very easy for us in real estate to be like, man, like the whole world's on fire. Want to buy a house? Kind of thing. And it's very easy because things in our industry are really strong right now. But we got to understand that there's a lot of things going on there that if not corrected, has the ability to impact our business. And so I do care about these things, and I know that you do as well. So even though I guess what I'm saying is don't be really flippant, because a lot of times, in real estate, where it's like, oh, you guys are having a rough time. What do you mean? Things are great. I know so many agents that are having their best year ever. Right. And so it's very hard to be like, hey, things are great. Sorry for you, kind of thing. But understand that these are issues out there going on.
Well, and the thing with the Henry County HUD program, put it out there for your clients, friend, help the community and, do what we can our part.
Yep. We're seeing the builders reworking their floor plans to spotlight home offices. They're not the only ones that should be doing this. We as listing agents need to make sure that we are taking advantage of home offices, backspaces, pools, backspace. How about backyards? We'll try that one instead of backspaces. Oh, English is not my friend today.
But anyway, so American has surprising new favorite room in the house. So believe it or not, master bedroom is now the favorite room. Normally in the past, the kitchen, the bathroom, and the master bedroom would have three major
kitchen and family room. Yeah.
And now that kind of concerns me just a little bit, simply because that means that the parents are not interacting with their children like they should. That's my personal opinion, but there it is. But anyway, these are the percentages of what is the favorite now.
Yeah, right now, master bedroom's 27% the most favorite room in the house, which seems weird to me. For us, we're kitchen folks. We stand in the kitchen. We live in our kitchens.
Yeah, and we love our children, so.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying they don't love their children. That's kind of rude.
No, I'm sorry. So. I'm just saying we like to interact with children because we work a long day. When we come home, we like to see our kids and ask them how their days are.
Yep. So, permanent work folks. Again, English is not my friend today.
Folks. You got me started.
So, Cushman and Wakefield came out with a study, and they say that the workforce may be around 10% on remote moving forward. It used to be around 5%. So, they're looking at a doubling of the remote workforce is really where it's looking to be. I think it might be a little bit higher than that, but we are going to see things at some point. it is going to start tapering off a little bit more, and we will start seeing,
And
we're already seeing a little bit more normal.
And we predicted the office space being having a little downturn themselves, but let me just encourage you: if you don't have an office, a space outside your home, make sure you cut out a portion of your house and make sure that is your office. Okay, get dressed in the morning. My children look at me every morning like, "Why do you get dressed? You're working from home." I'm like, when I get dressed, I know I'm in business mode and I'm working. So make sure you do that, because you gotta have that habit. If you don't, you're gonna see your numbers start falling.
It really is so important. So if you don't feel comfortable getting back in the office, which I really do encourage you to do, it's very easy to still social distance in offices, that kind of stuff, but you got to get back into the right routines to really make your business really kind of rocket out right now.
Absolutely.
So I need your listings. I sold all of mine. This needs to be like our mantra. And one thing that we are very, very concerned with is supply. We need more homes to be able to offer. Right now, it really is truly a seller's market. At the same time, it's a great time to buy. So this is just a really great time. But we need to be soliciting for listings more and more and more right now. And so we kind of want to wrap up today with talking about holding a seller seminar and how to do it. And so, used to be, we'd say, hey, come and get take the training room, use that. No. We want you to do it with Zoom. So look at, right now, Zoom for most, it's basically free, or it's $15 a month if you want to get the upgraded version kind of thing. But it's very, very inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole idea here is that you can, you show yourself as a technology expert, but it's a great chance to reach out and engage folks and hold a seller seminar, whether you do them one-on-one or whether you do them in groups. It really is a great thing to reach out. So it is really worth it to go get a Zoom account and use that. If you don't want to use your Zoom account, you have a free account through List Reports as well, which will do basically the same thing for you. So, but first you have to decide that I want to do it. And so get your account set up with whoever. And then at that point, you've got to go out and start marketing your event. So market for a seller seminar. And because you want to, about 40% of our sellers are first-time sellers. They've never sold a home before. So answering these questions is a really great opportunity for you to show yourself as the market expert, show your market knowledge, and show your heart. And also you can do it remotely through Zoom or any of these other online services, and show that you really care about people's health as well. So market your event. Postcards, flyers, Facebook ad, text messaging, phone calls. You can do it, you can even record your intro on Zoom and then share it out on Facebook, Instagram stories, go Facebook Live, do all those kind of things. Once you do that, kind of break out your topics about what do you want to go over, kind of thing, like what are the protocols for showing your home in today's market? How I can market your home virtually to minimize the impact on your family, that kind of stuff. Are iBuyers an option, and how does that whole thing work? The other side of things, and one that's probably one of the most important, is where are you going to move to? Because as a seller, I need you to be a buyer first. Otherwise, my friend, I'm making you homeless. So, and plus, it's really good for us. Now I turned one transaction into two. You want to be able to talk about current market conditions, what's going on, what's happening in the particular area where they are. Because even though overall it's a really good market everywhere, generally speaking, everywhere is not the same. We just said, if you've got a condo owner inside ITP, that might be a little bit different than the $180,000 house out in the suburbs, right, kind of thing. So, talk about, how is a good time to sell. It's a good time to buy. You're going to talk about pricing. You'll set up appointments for giving their comps.
Pull up the data online live, just so they can see that what you're seeing, and they know that you are coming from a actual data fact. Not just say, hey, I think your market's going to do this.
You want to talk about time frame, how long it's going to take for them to sell their home. You know, what do they need to do to prepare their home to sell? You know, that's always going to be a biggie. You know, eliminating clutter, cleanliness, those are two of the biggest things that we really have to do. You know, we've already seen that a lot of homeowners right now have been upgrading their home already and that kind of stuff. So a lot of the homes are really showing great
Curb
right now.
appeal's never been better.
Yeah. And then at that point, it really comes down to follow up, and then follow up some more. The money is truly in following up with the folks, kind of thing. Even with the folks that can't make it to your seminars, but you know, look at utilizing these pieces of technology like Zoom to really help get yourself out there. We've got to market for more listings, and it's time to get off the fence. It's time to be more intentional with your marketing efforts.
Absolutely.
All right. So then this Thursday, we have Tech Thursday coming up. We'll also be putting out a full calendar of everything that we're going to be teaching on Tech Thursday through the next couple of months kind of thing. So George MLS is going to be joining us on Tech Thursday, as well as FMLS to be sharing the different MLS tools with us.
Well, you know, Remind's coming in for FMLS. Not only that, George MLS has improved some of his platform.
Yep.
And transaction desk. So y'all just be on the lookout for it.
We'll be putting all those out there. Accountability is every Tuesday starting at 10 a.m. Our very own Keisha Kennedy, we're blessed to have, and
Yay,
she runs this show. So please join us for accountability. Just to make sure everyone's aware, Noonan office has moved. It's at 90 Glenda Trace. We're in the Coweta Crossroads Public Shopping Center over in Noonan now, and we are up and running. So Fayetteville, still under construction, still looks like a hot mess, still looks like those pictures. So Fayetteville's not the fastest construction job ever, but hey, it's moving. Just doing base.
Yeah.
So, you know, connect with us in any way that we can be useful to you. Call, text, smoke signals. I still can't speak very well today, but you know, we love you. We appreciate you. If we can be of any service, please let us know. So thank y'all very much, and please have a blessed day.
Thank you. Have a fabulous Monday.